style to it and a distinct sense of humor. So I am curious to see how they expand upon it.
Yeah, I mean, when Outer Worlds came out, was that, what, 2019 or so?
Don't make me perceive time.
I know, I'm sorry. No,
I don't want to perceive time right now.
Pre-show. But it felt like, Fallout necessarily wasn't back in the zeitgeist as much.
Yes.
It was kind of, I would say Fallout as a brand, and obviously two very different, but you can't really untangle because people who worked on the original Fallouts then went on to make other else. But back at that point, Fallout 76 didn't necessarily hit. That was having its redemption arc moment. And now we're in a place where there's so much more excitement about Fallout and games like Fallout.
Yes.
And Outer Worlds certainly scratches that itch while, having their own stamp on things. I'm very excited for it, and I hope Obsidian, one hell of a year. Avowed came out earlier this year, and so far.
Great combat in that game. Really good combat in that game. Yeah. So they're doing good work, and for me, what I love about it is it's the kind of tone that makes it good to play for stretches of periods of time. Like Fallout, I can play for a long time, but it feels like work at times. You're like, oh, but that feels really light. It kind of has the kind of tone and humor and the irreverence of something like a Borderlands without going too, how do you do, fellow kids, which Borderlands is prone to doing. So that kind of, even without knowing much about Outer Worlds 2, there's inside of me, I'm quite excited to play Outer Worlds 2 because I know I'm going to get a good vibe and feeling. I might not play the entire thing, but I'm in for a good time.
Yeah, you have an idea of what this is going to potentially look like. Yeah, as you say, it's like you get a sense of what the vibe is without exactly knowing what is going to be going on in terms of story, adventuring, traversing the lands, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Well, that was Outer Worlds. So, I mean, let's think back to Xbox's showcase last year. It definitely felt like all of those studio acquisitions were kind of coming to fruition. We saw new look at Perfect Dark. We saw Gears of War E-Day, Fable, which was supposed to be out this year, got pushed to next year, and a bunch of these games, and Doom: The Dark Ages, which came out last month. So this year, in terms of vibes, we definitely know we're getting Outer Worlds. Do you think Xbox is going to go as heavy-hitted with games, or is this platform strategy? Because obviously we've been putting games on PlayStation and the rumored handheld.
Yeah, I think that I would like to say Xbox has always tried to strike a balance, and I think that whether people believe there's a good balance or bad balance kind of depends on the circumstances and context at the time. Where it's like, do they want to have big things to talk about the Xbox brand and games, but they just might not be ready. It feels like now is a good time where the brand balance and the ratio might be a little more equal because obviously there's the rumored handheld, so that could potentially show up, and also any changes to the Xbox ecosystem they want to make, and it feels like Game Pass as a service is also picking up, not picking up steam, but it's cemented itself as a place where you can go to find something unexpected that's great. Expedition 33, it was a Game Pass game this year, and it's contender for Game of the Year for a lot of people.
Blueprints,
and I think Blueprints as well. That's a couple of games that are big deals. It's not like you pay for Game Pass just in hope that you get one Xbox game studio thing. You get third-party games that are great. But I do think it is time for them to really open the doors and show us on their big franchises what is going on, because kind of right now it feels like their own output is slightly stagnant, but I hope that they show off a little more of gameplay for that stuff and be like, here's the hardware or the platform part of it, and here's the game part of it, and it's kind of just imbalanced enough that an Xbox fan can be like, I feel good for the next few years.
Yeah, I think something that I've said a lot in regards to Xbox is that for many years it feels like Xbox has been in the business of selling Game Pass, not Xbox. And it has worked. As you say, Tam, it has cemented itself as a place where you can go and find great games, no matter what kind of gamer you are. I mean, particularly when you look at things like the partnership they have with Sega Atlas and dropping the Persona games as Game Pass titles. So I think that it is time for them to get back in the business of Xbox, and if they do drop this rumored handheld, that'd be a big flex that I would like to see, particularly because, for me as somebody that, has a handheld PC, I'm more inclined to use my PC Game Pass because then the games that I am downloading on my PC Game Pass are also going to be available on my handheld. So Xbox really does need to get in that market in order to again, maximize the viability of Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, they also had that big campaign earlier this year where it's like, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, which was very good. And I think it kind of not dilutes their messaging a little bit, but
Sure.
it doesn't make you think of the Xbox as the console anymore. And I think that's their broader shift is to let it know to players, hey, you can have access to your games anywhere. And I think this handheld, this rumored handheld, is just the next stage in that evolution. You know, I had a Steam Deck. I still have my Steam Deck, but then I got a ROG Ally, and I was like,
that's
well,
what
I
have.
can get Game Pass on this.
Yep.
And this is, you know, a worthwhile extension of my subscription. So I really hope to see some kind of peripheral, and also just like, as someone who plays predominantly on PC, just...
Yeah, I don't think they can afford not to have something that allows it, and they have been kind of trying to cover their bases on that by doing this is an Xbox thing where your fridge can play, or like your mobile phone can play, your vacuum cleaner is an Xbox, whatever it may be. But I think you are right in that, especially in the optics kind of perspective, they're the one company that doesn't have a traditional gaming handheld device. Something like, you know, even Sony, it might not be kind of conventional, but their kind of cloud-based device is a version of that, and you can also now stream without connecting to an actual PlayStation. You can stream from the cloud if you have PlayStation Plus. So I think it's in their interest to have something that plays in that market. One, because for people like us, we want it, but also from the business of Xbox and Microsoft, if you're like Satya Nadella, you're looking around and being like, where's our one of these? So I think they probably are inclined to do something, even if they, you know, if it's just like a gestural thing. But I don't think they would invest in something like that without giving it a good crack at it. And, you know, they have history in hardware and software. I think the software part of it, if it comes to fruition, that is the part that I'm most interested in, because I love the ROG Ally and the Ally X.
Yeah.
The fact that it boots into Windows hurts my heart every time.
The Windows
I'm
interface,
just, what are you doing,
oh
dog?
boy, it is, you get in that ROG Ally and you're immediately just like, press the button to
Armory
go pick my
crate,
games.
armory crate. It's not much better here either. Oh god.
I've got a pin on mine, so I'm having to do that.
Nice. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It is funny too, though, because I do think that like Xbox could definitely benefit from having those, because I, again, have ROG Ally, so I play my Game Pass games on my Ally all the time. But whenever you come to something like, for example, I was playing, I think Persona 3 Reloaded, and it was like, what is your name? And then I'm like, I can't select buttons because it's running the PC version. So it goes, well, you have a keyboard. And so then you have to go in and bring up the keyboard. And so again, the Windows interface isn't great on that. So if you could put yourself in a position wherein you are just using the Xbox interface on your handheld, you have your Game Pass games, that is an improvement.
Yeah, it's appealing to gamers.
To those gamers.
The gamers.
What do we think is a reasonable price point?
It kind of does depend, like, on the kind of is it because you have the I expect there's going to be multiple tiers.
Yeah.
I think they come in because their main competitors or their stablemates are the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, right? And they both have two versions, where it's like you have a normal version and an OLED version,
Right.
Ally and Ally X.
And Xbox, even in their last generation of games, exactly.
Yeah. So I think they will have that kind of I think they will have that two-tier system, and I think it will probably be around 400, 450, and then 600, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying if they could have a $399 version, I think that would be extremely marketable. And that, again, because that puts it in that price point of going, this is expensive, but it's not $600 expensive.
Yeah, the one consideration I do have is I wonder if they're going to try to simplify things a bit more now, because there is a lot of market confusion. I think like they have a lot of experience with that, with the S and the X. So like that was a whole boondoggle that continues to be the case with developers. And now that they have the campaign of this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, they kind of need a little more focus to be like, yeah, this is an Xbox, but it's this kind of Xbox.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, well, you just told me I can play on all these things. Why would I buy this one? My mobile phone is just.
Yeah.
So I think there's also a case to be made for them having one middle tier, somewhere between your price point and a little higher end price point that has is powerful, maybe doesn't have a high end OLED screen, but is runs games really well, and that is the one and done.
And I think that there is a huge market for that. You know, obviously, when you're in the gaming space, you can really get in the headset of, PCs and peripherals, but your average consumer, they just want something they can play their Xbox games on, and they can just boot it up, and it is an Xbox, and it works. It's the same thing with, the console, and the appeal of the console is you plug it into your TV, and there it is. That's all you need.
It just works.
It just works.
Well, that was Mac, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We got just over 15 minutes until we throw to the Xbox showcase. So Xbox had a lot of acquisitions over the last few years. We should talk about some of the studios and see if we think any of those games are going to be appearing today, because, 343, now Halo Studio?
Yes.
We'll say...
You could tell me their name was Master Chief Productions, and I would be like,
I know.
hell yeah, there is.
I will say, Xbox, I got a little bit of beef with you, because I went on your official website, and you said you got 23 game studios, and I was looking down the list, and I was like, well, damn, you closed down Alpha Dog, you closed down Roundhouse, and a bunch of other stuff, so...
Update your website. Update your website or reestablish those studios.
Yes. But, we could talk about a little bit about Coalition. So Coalition, we had a look at Gears of War E-Day. RIP to ever finishing the story at the end of Gears 5, I guess. We're going back in time.
Yeah.
We had a good look at that last year. Do we think, anything else? Because what is the rest of the slate for Xbox for the rest of this year? It's Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds,
and now Fable's shifted, so do you think E-Day?
That's been my big thing in general with games this year, is I'm like, I think we already got all the video games we're getting this year.
On the Xbox side,
Xbox, other than Outer Worlds,
on the one side, it's like, damn, what is going to happen with Xbox? On the other side, they have the potential to do something real impressive right now, to be like, this game is out this year, this game is out this year, this game is out this year. Do I think that's going to happen? No, because their productions, the ones that people want to be out this year aren't going to be the ones that they probably say. But I think, again, like in the Expedition 33 mold and the blueprints, they could come in and be like, hey, this year we gave you Expedition 33 for only the price of Game Pass. So we're going to have this, this, and this. That has the potential to kind of recover some of the goodwill, but it won't quite get them to where they want to be, or where people want them to be, with like, we've got Gears of War E-Day and it's out now, or something like that. But of all the games that we're probably going to talk about, E-Day is the one that I would, if I had to place a bet on, I would say probably that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a good chance for that. I'm curious as well about Perfect Dark, because we did get a look at that last year, and it
quadruple A
feels like we're in the territory of needing to see more of that, but I just don't know.
I have not heard anyone say
for every year it isn't out, it loses 1A. So it's now triple A. Next, if you're not out this year, you're going to be double A next year. So
I was going to say, when did they even establish that studio? It was a while ago.
A while back,
Perfect Dark we got the look at last year. I mean, Double Fine.
I was thinking that as well.
Yes.
Because what was Psychonauts 2? 4
It was
years ago?
Do not make me concede time. I've said this twice now.
21 or 20.
Yeah, 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think whatever we're going to see from them next, we're in a good sweet spot for that to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sure what it is. Because as you say, like, we're looking at a lot of studios that Xbox bought, but that we don't necessarily have any vision of what exactly it is that they're working on.
Yeah, I mean, for Double Fine, I just hope it is something weird, kooky, because that's what we know and love from that studio.
Yeah.
I want to see the Double Fine logo pop up before Gears of War E-Day. Double Fine is working on them.
Very different direction for Gears of War.
Stacking too.
And I expect Double Fine to be here in some capacity.
Yeah.
I would, if I had to guess, I would say they show their own game off. But at the very least, they are working with a lot of other teams and trying to help things happen there. And but yeah, I think we're about due a Double Fine game. My question around it is, are we getting something big like a Psychonauts, or are we getting something quirky, small, and cool like Stacking or Costume Quest or something like that? if I'm honest, I'll take either.
Yep.
Because Double Fine does cool stuff. But if I had to, again, and for some reason I'm placing a lot of bets on this thing. If I had to place another imaginary bet, I would imagine it'll be something on the scale of, or production level of something like a Psychonauts.
Yeah.
Well, we also have like so many bloody studios that we can talk about. So I guess Forza is the brand.
Yes.
I can't drive. I'm just going to put that out there. So if I say anything wrong about Forza or cars, that's on me. Horizon has always been my favorite of the two. Like I said, I'm not really into the full simulator side of things, but that arcadey feel, the music tie-in. Where could Forza Horizon go if it were?
Horizon, obviously, space.
That is exactly what I was going to say, Tam.
I want them to do the, you know,
Mexico, done. UK, done.
Yes.
America, done. Space.
I want them to do the festival thing where you're like racing and there are choppers and there are airplanes coming, and then the final stretch is coming, and there's the kind of like hill that you go over, and then you go over the hill and you just keep going up.
You just
keep going
space.
up.
Yes.
And then people are like, what? Yeah, what?
Listen, Fast and the Furious did it. We know that you can drive a car into space. Forza, get on it.
Now's the time. No, but if I'm being honest, like I think they have reached a good point where they have so many options, because Forza Horizon, they've nailed the actual driving systems around it, and as far as I know, they don't drastically change. Again, I'm not a super car racing person, so I'm sure there's someone like, oh, the traction feels different, in which case, grow up. But like, the areas that they take place in are what really, really make that. And there's places they still haven't gone, you know. And there's also like globe-trotting potential, where it's like, oh, we start in Asia, then we're going to Europe, and then, you know, that kind of thing. And I think the narrative part of it is also something they could lean more into, because, you know, that's what Need for Speed did when it was like stuck in a corner. It was like, what do we do now? It's like, oh, we'll just tell a story, and here is Razor Callahan. Enjoy. And it's just like that kind of approach to it could be quite interesting.
Yeah, a Forza World Tour.
I was going to say Mario Kart World.
Mario Kart World,
around the world in 80 days, Forza.
Forza. Well, I mean, there are obviously other studios we could talk about, like In Exile. They're working on, is it the Clockwork Tower? I was going to say the Clockwork Mansion, but that is a Dishonored. Rare. Do you think this is the time that Everwild is going to show its face again?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Everwild. I think Microsoft might have as well.
Yeah.
I think so. Unless... if they don't show it now, I think there's going to be a new story afterwards where it's like Everwild is cancelled.
Yeah.
But I think they showed just enough of it for them to be like, lads, we can't back out of this.
Yeah.
Like, people are not. One person on this planet has an Everwild tattoo already. We cannot undo that.
We got to do something, even if it is a Resident Evil fake out like they did.
Oh yeah, we're not going to show it.
Yeah.
Or it'll be a completely different game, and it'll just say, from the Everwilds universe.
Yeah,
and it'll be like,
sorry,
what?
I missed that.
But yeah, I think Rare, again, another studio with a lot of potential. I want to see Rare go back to what Rare does best, which is, again, I don't want to pigeonhole them, but it feels like they're a team that is lacking a personality right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of what made them that was around like mascot games and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And Xbox is, I love the Xbox games and the brand. It still is very corporate. And it needs a bit of heart from.
Sea of Thieves has.
Sea of Thieves has.
You're right.
Has found a lot of success on
I
PlayStation.
completely forgot about Sea of Thieves. That's on me.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, there is
Sea of Thieves now a PlayStation game, so actually.
Well, that's the thing. There is no, like, in terms of like a mascot game or anything. There is none of that in Sea of Thieves.
I mean, I think we're meant to believe that like Master Chief is the Xbox mascot.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have the same appeal as an Astrobot, as a Mario.
Yeah, exactly. That is, they need. I want that studio to succeed and continue. As British people, we are.
Yes.
We want to keep them going, and I would love for them to go back to their roots a little more and be like, hey, this is what you remember us for. Support us.
We've got about 7 or 8 minutes until the showcase, and we haven't even touched on Bethesda and your Activision Blizzard. So let's quickly run through Bethesda. Arcane.
Blade.
Where you at? It's been a couple of years since that Game Awards reveal.
Oh God, if that shows up, I will. I don't want to say what I'll do.
Not appropriate for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
No, I would love to see something from Arcane. Obviously, Redfall was a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and the Arcane Austin studio has since been shuttered. But Leon is working very hard on Blade, and I would love to see.
If you're an Arcane fan, the internet tells you that Dishonored 2 doesn't run well on Steam Deck or Asus. I can tell you that's incorrect.
That's a lie.
I've been playing that game, and it's so
That's great.
good.
Lie.
Yeah, it's so good. So.
It obviously just released. The thing is, like, it just released Doom, and Compulsion just released South of Midnight. So I feel like there'll be like little vignettes of, hey, remember these ones are out now. You can play them on Game Pass. Machine Games. We had Indiana Jones at the end of last year. I'm so sad about that. I hope everyone remembers when it comes to award season that game dropped in December because Indiana Jones was fantastic, and now PlayStation players can get to play it too. I wonder if we'll get to see any of that DLC.
Yeah, I think that will be a big part of it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to bring it back into people's minds so they remember that there was this great game.
Me banging the drum when we're voting for Game of the Year. I was like, hey guys, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And I'll be singing a French song and being like,
Expedition Daisy. I mean, it's going to be Expedition Daisy.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones will get its flowers hopefully at the end of the year.
Yes.
I mean, Bethesda, ZeniMax will be, I assume, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76. Anything from Starfield?
That's what I was about to bring up.
Where's that? It was meant to be a bunch of DLC.
Yeah, it feels like maybe it's time to drop a little star field, more fields in the stars.
or it's time to completely close the door and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
It's one or the other. Like, I feel like this showcase probably decides that the fate of that game going forward. Either Greg Miller will be happy or cry. That is going to happen. I hope it's more content. From what I can tell, people really enjoyed the update. I didn't really play much of it, but people enjoyed what happened with it. And there is potential there. And I know like Bethesda had a lot of high hopes for Starfield as a new IP.
Yes.
There's still potential there, and maybe they plug away at it and get somewhere with it. I hope so. But I mean,
no, they're going to be poking Todd with a stick and say,
Where's
Elder
the
Scrolls
game?
6, Fallout.
That actually was going to bring up Fallout because Fallout is definitely in a position wherein, and we talked about this a little when we were talking about Outer Worlds, that there is this renewed enthusiasm for Fallout because of the show. And I just wonder, they've got to be working on something, hustling to take advantage of this.
Some Xbox studio.
Yeah.
They have to be, but I don't think they can get away with another, like, here's a CGI kind of teaser telling people it exists.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, they probably could. What do I know? They'll show, like, a power armor and everyone will, like,
Lose their mind.
pee their pants.
Yep.
And, like, but for me, it's like, you can't have that for Elder Scrolls and Fallout. You got to have one of these look like an actual game.
Yeah.
Maybe even a remake in the vein of Oblivion for Fallout.
Fallout. The way you do it is you get a proper New Vegas kind of like we're gonna go back and do New Vegas again.
Oh my God.
And give it
I
a
would be
proper,
so
we're gonna
happy.
unjank New Vegas. So,
Believe just
Keep some of the jank.
yeah,
You gotta
keep some of that jank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess if we are kind of done with the Bethesda there, we should talk a little bit about Activision Blizzard King.
Yes.
Don't ever forget the King.
Yeah.
Because that was a big factor in the acquisition.
Oh, it sure
because
was.
King makes a ton of money. So, Call of Duty.
I mean, I thought we were going to get one in Summer Games Fest, so it's got to be here. We know they're making more Call of Duty. They're going to keep making those games. People keep buying them.
Yeah, and it is a good time to start the realignment of Call of Duty as a brand that leans a little more in the Xbox side. If it doesn't appear anywhere else but Xbox, people start making that association. Even though, you know, they said it's going everywhere, it's going everywhere.
Fully part of the agreement, but
they will see some unique benefits from it, and from an optics perspective, this is a good time to do that, where you align Call of Duty and Xbox closer together. They're the ones that can get away with like a short, sweet, like ba-bum bump explosion. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because last year, or was it the year before, we had the big, like the hour-long thing was all Call of Duty. It would have been the year before last year was Starfield.
Yeah.
What was the last Call of Duty again? Played it.
Was it Black Ops? No.
Black Ops 6, it was.
Black Ops 6, yeah, that's exactly it.
Don't make me perceive time.
I know, God.
I can't, for time is it's a concept that I don't subscribe to.
Time is a number of blurred Call of Duty games.
I was going to say, it's none of my business what time. Well, we've got Blizzard too. Anything from, I mean, Overwatch? Any of those? I mean...
more Diablo 4
I think
stuff?
I think we get like a showcase reel of all the Overwatch DLC that's probably available because they've done loads of collabs, right?
Yes.
Now's the time to kind of package them and be like, hey.
Overwatch is apparently great again.
Yeah, it is. It is actually. I checked in recently and I was like, oh, this game is good again. Yeah, it's got a lot of personality and like I said, there's a lot of. I guess they would want some of the shine that Fortnite gets anytime and a recognizable thing appears in it. Now's the time to start like packaging them up, being like, here's all the anime people you love, and here's all the Street Fighter or whatever it may be.
All right, we've got 1 minute before we're going to go to the Expo Showcase. So quick fire predictions from the two of you about what's your wildcard prediction?
Ooh, another Sega Atlas Persona drop on Game Pass. We've been, there's a lot of rumors circulating around a Persona 5-ified Persona 4, especially because a lot of the voice actors from the original game have been talking about I was not asked to be in the remake.
Yeah, that was wild.
Confirming that a remake is actually happening, but it feels likely, and if it's going to drop, my guess would be here, and it's Game Pass.
Yeah. My wildcard prediction is just more hopes and dreams. I think we get a extended look at the Blade game.
Oh, I would have.
I'm trying to manifest here. This is the first time.
Oh no, the Blade game, not Arcane Blade. Yeah.
We got 10 seconds. I got to wrap. Blade, Persona, Dishonored 3. Make sure to stay tuned after the Xbox Showcase. We'll be right here breaking down all the new reveals. Have fun.
Gamers.
I'd care that the colony is in disarray. We didn't come to Arcadia to get bogged down in pointless warfare. We came to spread freedom and liberate resources for profit. But this pesky Earth Directorate agent is mucking things up. They're not alone in doing so. And they think they can just choose how things play out. They could stop us from stealing the Protectorate's brainwashing technology, which we need to improve our market share. What if this stranger aligned with the Order and that world computer of theirs? That could be the key to closing the rifts that threaten the colonies. So, you see why this menace must be wiped from the face of existence. Or, better yet, brought to our side through the power of capitalism. Now, let's get out there and buy our way to victory!
I'm yearning and yearning for you. My heart and red and blue. Every last bit of my way, every last bit that I'm paid, every last bit that I save is intended for you. Although the cost may be high, one day I know you'll be mine. Someday perhaps I'll own two. For now I'll take one that's brand new. 'Cause I'm yearning and burning for you. For you.
An adventure made for capitalism by capitalism. Inflate our impressions and egos by staying tuned after the showcase.
World premiere. What's wrong?
I'm sorry. I've just been so depressed lately.
You know, it would fix everything. Humanzapron. Yeah, humans are barely sentient. Scientists have done studies, and their brains are like half the size of ours.
World premiere.
At Xbox, we strive to put the player first. And that's what you've seen from us over the years. We've led the industry with backward compatibility. We championed crossplay and cross-progression. We delivered Game Pass, first on console, then on PC, and with cloud gaming. So what's next? How can we give you even more freedom, more choice, more ways to play? Our next step is to unify your gaming no matter where you buy or play. So we're building an Xbox experience designed for players, not locked to a single store or tied to one device. The Xbox Ally is an Xbox you can hold in your hands, bringing together the power of Xbox and the freedom of Windows. On this Xbox, you can play games across your entire library, including all the Windows PC game stores, from Xbox and Battle.net to Steam, GOG, and Ubisoft Connect. And the highly anticipated Hollow Knight Silksong will be available at launch and in Game Pass when the Ally releases later this year. In fact, every new game you see in today's show will be playable on the Xbox Ally. We have always wanted you to have the unique experience of Xbox on any screen. That's why we're investing in Xbox Play Anywhere. Whether you're playing on console, PC, smart TV, or any Windows handheld like the new Xbox Ally, the Xbox experience roams with you. Your Let's Play Anywhere games on Xbox today. And every new game you see in today's show, from our partners and our studios, is Xbox Play Anywhere. And because it's Xbox, you can always have access to Game Pass with a diverse lineup of games from the biggest franchises to critically acclaimed indie hits. This is the freedom we believe players should have. Any game, anywhere. And we are giving it our all every day to make this vision real. But it all comes back to the games. From Dead to Rights on the original Xbox to Armored Core 6, our relationship with Bandai Namco Entertainment has stood the test of time. We both believe in bringing amazing experiences to players around the world, and their next game does exactly that. From Rebel Wolves Studio, this is a story-rich action RPG steeped in dark fantasy that I can't wait for you to explore. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Monsters have always been here, watching from the shadows. And when we were at our weakest, they came out into the light. We feared for our lives, but we should have feared for our souls instead. The vampires didn't come to kill us. No, they came to rule. Turn us into mindless, docile cattle. Not me, though. They tried to change me into one of them. But I became something else instead. Their worst nightmare. Trapped between the two worlds, fighting to even the score, fighting to understand the evil behind it all.
He is out there, watching, seeping into you, growing.
Watch your back, Yakumo. You're a wanted criminal now.
I'll kill the Dark Dragon myself. It's my mission. My duty as a Raven Ninja.
Breaking the Dark Dragon free has its consequences.
This is it.
Sayori.
Ryu, there's something I need your help with.
The Dark Dragon is mine.
Good luck, Indy.
What are you doing, Jones? Are you crazy?
This is where it starts. Beneath the streets of Rome. Enter the city of Antioch. Find the secret relic. Bring it back to the Holy See. Defend the secret. They worshipped the giants.
World premiere.
はるか昔、この国に輪廻の獣が現れた。輪廻の獣は汚れを吐き、あらゆる生物を蝕んだ。西暦4026年、人類は滅亡を待つのみ。封じ子エマ、お前こそが輪廻の獣を滅ぼす刃となる。
glittering streets of Avalon sure do shine. Because they swoop their filth down to us.
Get your paper in! Who's for a paper?
Here's to playing in the mud. Life here ain't for the soft-hearted.
You will be paying me back until you fucking rust.
It ain't for the spineless.
Keep your filthy pickers off me!
And it sure as shite ain't for the decent.
That's a clean sweep for one and
There has been a crime! Justice itself has been affronted! I have been burgled!
Lord Griswick.
Bertold!
Yes, I got that part. Do you know anyone who might wish you ill? We can't arrest and question everyone. Let's see if we can narrow the suspects down a bit.
They were,
Trust your instincts, sir.
tall,
Yes, sir.
built rather slim, well, muscular.
Mm-hmm.
Was very quick, agile.
Go on.
With a mustache. No, larger.
I see.
Quite fashionable. That's the fiend who robbed me.
They got my good side this time. Breaking in is the easy part.
Your brandy, sir.
Getting away with it is the real trick.
These candlesticks ain't gold. Worthless and dull, just like you. Nah, I have a customer. How can I help you?
I'd rather talk to you, Errol. Sounds like I'll get a better deal.
You talk to me first, and him never. Got it?
Uncle's a bit touchy, ain't he, Errol?
Touchy? I say I'm touchy! There. Anything else you'd care to say to Errol? Brains. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it.
Round here, it's all sharp edges, empty pockets, and blood on the cobbles. Goodbye, Silas.
No, no! I'll hurt you, you fucking meatsack! I'll leave you with a pissing pan of peaches!
You'd either got a gang at your back, or a knife in it.
We're family here. Family takes care of its own.
Can't put a price on that, can you?
Them's in charge. They don't keep order. They keep power.
Take this thing into the crucible and melt it.
They just want us beaten, broken, and too scared to fight back.
I don't want to kill him.
That's why it pays to be clever and well-armed. Let's go and end a few arguments. Don't get cocky. They've got a weapon far worse. Time. And if they can rewrite history, they can rewrite us. But look who just found Mummy's keys. Now I can fiddle with time. Put the bullet back in the barrel. Bring the chaos to a crawl. Take a mistake and make it like it never happened. We can change the world as we know it. One choice at a time. And I can even go back and change the past to change the future. And let me tell you, the hunters don't like it when the rabbits got the gun.
Now let me alone and piss off!
Our creative teams are dedicated to bringing players award-winning, record-breaking, critically acclaimed games. Call of Duty, Black Ops 6 from Activision, Doom, The Dark Ages from Bethesda, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred from Blizzard, and Avowed from Xbox Game Studios. All of our teams across Xbox First Party are shipping their most played games ever, and they're also delivering more content than ever before. From original single-player experiences to vast online worlds, our teams are empowered to build the games they've always dreamed of. We want our players to have the choice and flexibility of where and how they play the games our teams make. So of course, our games will be available day one in Game Pass, and every new game we make for both Xbox consoles and PC will be Xbox Play Anywhere. On behalf of our creative teams, thank you. These experiences don't stop when you put down the controller. As you've seen in recent years, more and more of our characters, stories, and worlds are expanding to brand new audiences through TV and film. A Minecraft movie and the Fallout TV series broke records and brought millions of players into the game. We have more projects in the works as gaming continues to influence film and television like never before. When it comes to growing new franchises, Obsidian is having a year like no other. From launching a blockbuster new game like Avowed to the upcoming release of The Outer Worlds 2 this October. Obsidian is always delivering great games, and they have a third game launching this year. You'll get to go deeper on it in our Direct, but until then, let's take a look.
World premiere.
I told you, you can't run from me, you foul beast! No! With new flexible legs, the yoke girth action figure can ride anything!
Breaking news. There's been an explosion at Brook Hollow Park. Chaos descended on a ceremony commemorating the 2-year anniversary of when 4 teenagers were miniaturized against their will and left to fight for their survival in the backyard of a deranged scientist. Formerly evil company Ominent Practical Technologies was set to dedicate a statue of the 4 teenagers, fast food science robot Burgle, and Dr. Tully when an explosion erupted. Dr. Tully and the teenagers' current whereabouts are also unknown.
You gotta keep them separated.
The predecessor, ND3500, reached. Accessing predecessor's travel log. Attempting data salvage.
I have encountered an unprecedented orphan. It was in a state of suppressed recomposition.
The behavior pattern of the orphans populating the area is highly unusual.
they become exceptionally aggressive.
It is highly recommended to proceed with caution.
They seem to act more consistently, in coordination.
Destroying the nest is now a priority.
Such is our calling.
Such is our calling.
World premiere.
Mayday! Mayday! Hold one to mission control! We're falling! Thomas, the ship's breaking apart! There's no time! Evacuate! Now! Thomas, come in!
Ariane, you sacrificed everything for a new world, to save mankind. And I'll always love you for that.
Thomas, wherever you are, I'll find you.
World premiere.
Welcome to England, Mr. David. I know this must be a shock, having never met your real father, but he left you this hotel in his will. It's been in your family for generations, much like the caretaker. He's a little eccentric. You'll see.
Let me welcome you to the Grand, a hotel famous across the land. Every room used to be in such high demand. Your wish I'll command here at the Grand.
Well, hello there. It looks like you're about to do some renovations. Would you like some help with that?
So, my father was renovating the hotel when he disappeared?
Not just the hotel. He was helping the entire village. You have his power tools. You know, you could pick up where he left off. You seem like a good man, like he was.
I'm in. They don't suspect a thing.
Just make sure the locals don't get wind of what you're really up to. Because if they find out, they will wicker man your ass.
You keep looking into things, and things are gonna start looking back. Don't make the same mistake your father made. In this place, the only one you can really trust is me.
There are as many gods in the world as there are stars in the heavens, and when we need their help, they send us a hero. Who would have guessed the defender of my homeland would be my daughter?
She unlocked the heavenly spear, but is she worthy?
You can't rule if the heavenly spear is mine.
주권 국가의 자주적 결정을 누가 허락하는가? 만약 이 결정이 패권 국가의 특정 정치 집단의 이익을 저해한다면 당신의 특정 행동이 대중의 의사결정에 영향을 미칠 수 있으며 반대로 누군가는 당신의 의사결정에 영향을 주려 한다는 것을 인지할 때 자신만의 온전한 입장을 세울 수 있지 않을까? 당신의 입장은 온전한 본인의 판단인가? 그렇게 믿고 있거나 믿고 싶을 뿐. 무엇 때문에 분노하는지. 당신의 분노는 스스로 결정한 것인가? 누군가 당신의 분노를 이용한다. 지정태. 지정태!
World premiere.
E ora Olaiem lo ite fativi. Novo. Ilo? Te kemaite mana. Muite onanite waeora. Dia. Novo tua libemo iwalotaname. Ona otalima di efema. Teonami. Toma tua calio, terali.
Well, hello there. Beautiful day to relax by the old fishing hole, wouldn't you say? When it comes to fishing, Appalachia is a land aswim with opportunity. Yes, you'll find fish of all flavors in every walk of waterway, from its mightiest of rivers to its humblest of ponds. Just step up to the bank, cast your line, and when your bobber starts bobbing, reel in the rewards. What do you got on there, Jed? Worms! And how are they biting today?
See for yourself.
Bagging the big fish starts with finding the right tools for the job. There are as many unique combinations of rods, reels, bobbers, and baits as there are fish in the sea. And when you've caught your fill, pop over to the local tackle shop to swap fish tails. Can you smell that? No matter what troubles plague the future wastelands of Appalachia, you can always find comfort in cozy little joys like this. You just gotta know where to look. Vault Life is your ticket to easy living. Design and build your own little slice of paradise. A place to show off all the bits and bobs you collect in your travels. Got a green thumb? Plant your own peaceful vegetable garden. And nothing warms the heart like a neighborhood cookout. Ah, community makes a wasteland a waste home. Join today, and tomorrow you'll be kicking back and sharing a meal with friends in beautiful Appalachia.
World premiere. World premiere.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I just want to say thanks to everyone for all the love and support we've seen since we announced Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 a few months ago. These games have changed my life, but more than that, I've seen them help spread a love and appreciation for skating all over the world, and that means everything to me and the team. I can't wait for you all to experience the game. It's been rebuilt with so much care and attention to detail, with some brand new parks, new music, new skaters, and more. And you can enjoy it all with your friends with up to 8 players in multiplayer. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 officially drops July 11th, and we have a lot more surprises to come. Check out the launch trailer now.
decided to show up. It's game time, baby!
You think you can still find your way back home, Phoenix?
Looks like they upgraded. Bowser, baby! Let's do this.
This is gonna be awesome.
Form up!
World premiere. The Smugglers League is always there. But you won't see us. You won't hear us. And the only way you'd ever know it is if that's what we wanted. As smugglers, we deal in the goods others are afraid to handle. Guns, explosives.
And don't forget the rum.
It's a life of danger like no other. So I guess my question is, can you handle that?
Getting your hands on gold is one thing, but you should know that this is what we're really after. The bigger the boom, the better. Smugglers need to be adaptable. It's more than moving under moonlight and shadows. You should be ready to take advantage of others' misfortune. Stealing, of course, is always an option. Just do whatever it takes to get the job done. You are pirates, after all.
Welcome, my friends, to the Smugglers League. You're paying for that.
World premiere.
Hope you're not in a hurry because northbound is backed up all the way to 18th Street. And the southbound ain't looking much better. So you might
This is ridiculous. Please, come on.
Are you one of them? You're here, but it's right.
Had enough yet?
No, Dad, not even close.
hoped you'd understand why I had to do this. Accept our rule or die.
I'd like to propose a third option.
I'm not your son anymore. I'm the guy who's going to throw you off this planet for good. I trusted you!
Back off! Ready to bleed? This is over. All right, coming through!
Let's do this! Gotcha!
Going up! Come here! Need a hand? Might want to look up.
I'm up! See how you like this? It's an army!
I am ending you! I see it all now.
To even the odds. Any objections?
Know your place, little lamb. There's no one to save you now.
You will answer for what you've done!
Our flames are our own, and they burn as one!
Come to me, Ifrit!
Valisthea cannot endure a second claim upon her being, but she may yet be saved by you.
World premiere.
Games like Psychonauts 2 showed how Double Fine excels at creating unique and innovative experiences, and Keeper is no exception. Looking ahead, next year marks 25 years of Xbox. It's a big milestone for the platform and franchises that you helped build and make popular. We couldn't have done this without everyone who's been with us on this journey. As we think about bringing a new generation of players to these iconic franchises, I'm excited to share that players will get to celebrate 25 years of Xbox with a new Fable, the next Forza, Gears of War E-Day, and the return of a classic that's been with us since the beginning. Today, you've seen an incredible range of games from creators across the globe. Creators like In Exile, reaching for new heights with Clockwork Revolution. Sluggerfly, making Team Meat's modern classic platformer into 3D. Square Enix, bringing more of the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy franchise to our players. And Team Ninja, returning to the beloved series they debuted on Xbox. You've also seen the next Xbox hardware release, our Xbox Ally handheld, which lets you bring your Xbox experience and your library with you anywhere. I hope you enjoyed the breadth and depth of the games, updates, and experiences that are coming to Xbox from our partners and our own creative teams. We're seeing more players on our platform and in our games than ever, thanks to all of you. We're proud of the creativity that Obsidian is delivering this year. Immediately after Showcase, our Direct begins, where you'll go inside the studio for an extended look at The Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded 2. Thanks for joining us today. But before we get into the Direct, we have a final world premiere. Enjoy.
World premiere.
Welcome to the Guild. We have been expecting you. Please, follow me. You already know us as a global tech leader. Our software, our systems, combined with our skilled team, is designed to save lives. Your years of service have shown you the importance of our work. Here, you'll witness the global scope of that mission in action. Let me introduce you to our esteemed visionary.
For too long, we have been bound by outdated systems, accepting limitations instead of redefining them. The Guild is safeguarding tomorrow, now. We are pioneering the future of protection worldwide. Our advancements are designed to elevate everyday life, reshaping the future of technology on a global scale. I'm Emma Higgins, CEO of the Guild.
Fear is a powerful thing. David Mason.
Menendez.
Welcome to Obsidian Entertainment. We here at the studio have joked around that this has been the year of Obsidian, with Avowed releasing early this year and now ending the year with 2 more games. And what better way to cap this incredible year for us than by doing what our studio does best, sequels.
That's where I come in. You can get out of here, Fergus. Thank you so much. No, you're doing great. You nailed it. The sequel is the lifeblood of every great franchise. Think about it. The original creates the world and builds fandom, but the sequel, that's what makes it worth remembering. No sequel, no hoverboard. No sequel, no dual SMGs. No sequel, no raccoon tail. No sequel, no Zune 2. Which doesn't really exist, but I wish it had.
There was a Zune 2.
There was a Zune 2? I'm Mark, the head of sequels here at Obsidian, and I have sequelized everything. Blockbuster movies to AAA video games to my first marriage, so trust me, I know what I'm doing. Come along on this journey with me. Part 2.
Let the killing commence.
The Outer Worlds 2 is a sequel to The Outer Worlds 1. It's a continuation of the themes of robber barons in space and how people are controlled by the stories they're told by the people who have power over them. This time we're able to go a lot deeper because we have more time and money, which is a great thing, and we're able to make it a much more true Obsidian reactive RPG than we were the first time around. So we're going deeper and more complex with everything for this sequel. Deeper story, lore, RPG interactions, reactivity, all the things we've been known for as a company. It's really a complete realization of everything people want from an Obsidian game. Surprisingly, this is the first time in over 25 years that I've had the chance to do a full sequel for a world that I helped co-create. It's really just a fantastic opportunity to explore and expand the universe in interesting ways, and to go even further with the themes of how people are affected by living in a dystopian corporate reality.
You can shoot your way through it, you can talk your way through it, you can sneak your way through it. And so no matter what kind of playstyle that you like, this is just an awesome franchise and an awesome game to jump into, even if it's your first one.
The first Outer Worlds was a great base to start from, as it has all the elements of a great Obsidian RPG. Interesting characters, deep worlds, important choices. In the Outer Worlds 2, not only did we want to double down on those elements, but we wanted to give players even more of it.
We've also put a lot of investment into skills and traits that impact things like combat, conversations, and areas that we call RPG interactions, which are the part of the world where players can use their specific skills, perks, and backgrounds to solve problems in unique ways in our new, bigger worlds.
I love a deep RPG experience, and building out that RPG crunchiness for our players was at the forefront of what we set out to create. We prioritize those deeper RPG options with different character builds and combos so players can express their role-playing power fantasies. We also have different equipment options for different playstyles and different companions with different abilities. In the first Outer Worlds, you start off as the Stranger, which was basically a blank slate to build on top of with various attribute points that would begin to define your personal experience in the game. You can make any kind of character you want, but we've given you a role. That role is an Earth Directorate agent. You can think of them as kind of like space cowboys or space sky marshals. They're the good guys that go into places and kind of fix everything that's wrong. You're gonna be one of those. But we don't tell you why you joined the Earth Directorate. There could have been a lot of different reasons, right? It could have been because you're an actual lawbringer and you want to go in there and spread law throughout the galaxy. It could be that you're a roustabout and you just had nothing better to do. After you pick your background, one of the really important choices you have next is choosing your traits. While we had attributes in the first Outer Worlds, we've leaned into traits for the Outer Worlds 2, which are these big changes to your character depending on which ones you pick. So it could be something like Brilliant, where you can tag extra skills and you start getting extra skill points. And that's obviously really great if that's how you want to build your character. You can also go and do something like Lucky, where you get extra critical chance, and you also get a lot of really cool options throughout the game as well. Of course, we brought back dumb, so players love the dumb option.
Tell me, do you believe in signs? Not quite what I meant, but I like your contempt for boundaries. I could put your adventurous spirit to good use.
You get like lots of really cool, fun conversation options in the game, but we took that even further. And again, there's lots of elements in the game where you can be dumb and use that for something. Could be something as simple as banging on a machine to get it to work. After you've invested in some of your traits, your next choices are going to be choosing your skills. The skills themselves basically allow you to build on your playstyle and what your character is doing in the game. That will be everything from playing stealthily to speccing for an explosive specialty. Throughout your entire journey, your character continues to change with the different choices you make. In the Outer Worlds 1, actually had more skills than we have, so we condensed them down to really the core and essence of what we really wanted there. But we made each point that you put into a skill much more impactful. So instead of getting small percentage changes, we actually did much larger changes per point that you put into each skill. And again, all these things, because of how they're checked inside the world itself, can matter quite a bit. You know, just even having one additional skill point in something can open up a lot more options in the world itself. If anybody's played Fallout New Vegas, they'll be very familiar with like the perk system. We basically borrowed that, but went even grander. We actually have more perks than Fallout New Vegas did. But here's the cool thing, right? We check and use perks for literally everything, right? So you can do everything from, hey, I want to make a stealthy build that steals stuff and is really good at that. Okay, great. Well, you can take maybe the pickpocketing perk. So that's not available to everybody, but if you select that, now you can actually go around and steal things out of people's pockets. There's another perk called heavy-handed, right? Where say you're a melee person, what this does is now your power attacks that you use actually knock people down.
Oh man, I really like the serial killer perk. As you start killing people, they will drop hearts. And you can take those hearts, and essentially you're taking these trophies, you could say, and it's actually giving you a permanent health bonus every time you do it. We have this perk called Assassin. Now, this is an early game perk that you can take, which every time you stealth attack an enemy, you're actually going to get a movement bonus for a certain amount of time.
Flaws were a system that everybody loved from the first game, but we wanted to make it more personal to the player. We wanted it to really reflect how you were playing the game and give you a bonus that you actually wanted to really engage with.
With the flaw system returning, we knew we needed to go bigger, better, and more real than ever before. So we turned to the team, and I told them, no bad ideas. Give me what you got. Okay, we need more flaws. We need them to be real. I want to put them in the game, so give me something. Inspiration. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I have bad knees.
You got bad knees? They hurt when you walk a lot?
Yes.
When you walk too much, they hurt?
No cartilage.
Sounds boring. Makes you sound like a boring person, but it's in the game.
I know it.
It's a good flaw. What about you?
I like to take small things sometimes.
So you're stealing?
No, I'm taking.
When do you give them back?
I don't.
Claire. Claire, you shouldn't be stealing. What are you doing? You shouldn't be stealing, Claire.
Tiny crimes.
Tiny crimes? Do you hear the second part, though? It's a crime.
Well,
You're stealing. Claire, that's wrong. You can't steal things, okay? But it's an amazing flaw, and I'm putting it in the game. But you're a bad person. And are you the one that took my stapler?
do you need it?
Yeah. Give it back.
Okay.
Please. You, what do we got? Flaw.
I like to stare at the sun.
How long did you stare at the sun?
Just lunch break.
An hour?
Oh, I only get 30. You guys get an hour?
I get an hour. An hour.
Oh. Makes me feel energized.
How many fingers am I holding up?
3?
No. Anything else? We'll put it in the game. We'll put it in the game because I feel bad for you. Anything else?
One of my favorite flaws is something called bad knees. It will actually give you the option to take this flaw that'll make it so that you move faster throughout the game. But the problem is, anytime you stand up, your knees are going to make a loud popping noise that makes it so that, well, everyone around you is going to hear you.
There's one called Kleptomaniac. This is really interesting because what it does is when you steal something, you can actually sell it for more bits than normal. And like that sounds really great. The drawback is sometimes when you're looking at things in the world that are owned by somebody else, you'll automatically steal them. So you have to be very careful about how you use them.
One of our more wacky perks is the Sun Gazer Flaw, and it just gives everyone cataracts while playing their game. So everything becomes like light shafts and blooms and hazes, and makes the game pretty unplayable if you happen to choose that perk.
If you happen to be the type of player that habitually reloads your weapons like I do, well, you'll be offered the flaw of overprepared. Now, you'll get larger magazine sizes on all of your weapons, but if you ever fully empty your magazine, you're gonna take a debuff for a while. While we support options like being a gunslinger who wants to key into destructive weapons, or a rogue who wants to alpha strike their enemies before they know what hit them, we also allow for a lot of fun and experimental builds. You can be a mad scientist who utilizes gadgets and wacky science weapons and armors, or even a psychopath who gains permanent bonuses to health by murdering their friends.
Nothing shows the impact of these character build options better than, in my opinion, the bridge area, which has a quest you get early on in Paradise Island. Not only do you kind of encounter this very early, and it's a very core one to the story, but it really expresses our philosophy of allowing the player to solve problems in a bunch of ways. So you may solve it by, speech options. You may talk to them and maybe have to go do a quest for them and really kind of prove that you're a friend of the Protectorate to get by.
I may have need of your help, stranger, if you are ready to seize an opportunity to show fealty to the Protectorate.
You could go guns blazing and you could just take everyone out inside the POI, lower the bridge itself, and kind of get across. You could sneak in, lower the bridge, and then actually sneak in under the bridge to get over to the other side. You can bypass the bridge entirely if you found like certain gadgets, like the shield gadget that protects you from poison gas as you go across, or the double jump boots, which kind of allow you to jump across the chasm and get across that way. There's even a really kind of messed up way, right? Which is players can actually sacrifice one of their companions. The companion who they just found is part of.
We're no different than the Vrees if we start tossing our own to the rats. I sure as law ain't gonna follow someone who can't see the wrong in it.
I must admit I'm surprised we could come to an understanding, but I thank you for your loyalty, stranger. As promised, you shall have clearance to cross this bridge.
It's such a fun quest, but again, it really showcases that we want you to be able to solve this in whatever way you want to. When you build your character your way, we're there for you. We really want you to have the experience that you want to have out of this.
From the very beginning of our discussions about the Outer Worlds, we really knew we wanted every game to take place in a different colony. This lets us expand on all aspects of the universe. Every colony can be its own thing with its own flavor, and we can center them around anything we want. Any ideas or setting we're interested in. Arcadia is an isolated colony with abundant resources, and it's run by an authoritarian faction called the Protectorate. Their dictatorship is thematically based around the question of how much freedom people will give up for security and luxury. For Protectorate subjects, unfortunately, that answer is everything. The Protectorate is also incredibly wealthy because it was founded by the inventor of the skip drives, which are the Outer World's faster-than-light engines. But those skip drives are starting to cause rifts in space-time, which are cutting off all the other colonies on Earth from being able to trade with each other. The Order of the Ascendant is an offshoot of the Order of Scientific Inquiry from the original game, and like them are a science-based religion with the same goal of solving the universal equation, which will allow them to predict and alter the future to the benefit of all mankind. They used to be part of the Protectorate, but they split off to focus on solving the equation for the good of everyone, not as a way to simply control the masses. The player's been sent to Arcadia as an Earth Directorate agent to find out how the skip drives are causing the rifts and what can be done to stop them. Each of the factions have their own solutions to the rift problem and their own goals. The Protectorate wants to close them to protect their legacy as the inventor of the drives and their wealth. The Order wants to close them not only for the good of everyone, but also because they're complicating the math they're using to solve the universal equation. And Antes just wants to be able to open and close them at will to control all the trade routes between the colonies. In addition to expanding the themes and lore of the Outer Worlds, we're also expanding the humor, so each faction has its own flavor of absurdity. Anti's Choice is a merger between Anti-Cleo and Spacer's Choice from the original game, and there are corporate representatives in the Outer Worlds too. They've invaded Arcadia to liberate their resources for all of humanity, at a profit, of course.
One of my favorite things from Fallout New Vegas is the radio system. It was just iconic for me, and I wanted to make sure that the Outer Worlds 2 had that. So we actually built out 3 different radio stations, one for each of the major factions. You also have a ton of music. Each station might have, like, I think 20 tracks of unique music that we've made for it. It's a lot of stuff. But the really cool part about this entire thing is that we actually put a lot of reactivity into the radio. So it will respond to the things that are going on around the world that you've been interacting with. So if you go into a location, let's say you solve a problem for the Protectorate folks, if you listen to the Protectorate radio station, they're gonna be cheering you on as a hero.
Wonderful news, everyone. The Zeranium gas leaks at the Automech repair facility, strongly believed to be caused by Anti's Choice malefactors, have been corrected.
Some hotshot for hire just managed to fix the electrum leak in their repair facility. Now, I'm not saying we caused it in the first place, but we sure like the idea of all those broken auto mechanicals and all the excessive gasping and choking involved.
The factions and companions are great examples of how we're going deeper and more complex this time around. They're integrated into the game's storyline much more than we did on the first Outer Worlds, and like with everything else in the game, they have a lot more reactivity. There are 6 companions in the Outer Worlds too. As usual, each has their own quest lines, but this time they are also connected to a different faction and have character arcs that the player can affect through their choices. Your first companion is Niles. He's another Earth Directorate agent like you, and he's looking for your help to decide whether he wants to become an even better agent or to turn his back on the Earth Directorate completely. There's also a somewhat cute Automech support drone that is basically Niles' helper. Her name is Val. Marisol is part of the Order of the Ascendant, and she's an aging but still deadly assassin. That's right, she's a deadly mathematician who may or may not have some unfinished business to attend to with the player's help. There's also a cultist named Azza, who is part of a sub-faction that worships the rifts, and in her case, violence in general. You can choose to either turn her away from overt violence or support her chaotic and dangerous tendencies. Now, at one time, Anti's Choice had a program to graft soldiers with animal parts to make them more formidable. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work, and most of them are now dead. There's a combat medic who survived, however, named Inez, and she wants the player to help her fix her graft, among other things. Finally, there's Tristan. He's a Protectorate Arbiter, who is judge, jury, and executioner all rolled into one heavily armored package. It is your choice to either help him judge wrongdoers or show him what true justice looks like.
We definitely have reactivity in the game based on how you've been treating your companions. I won't reveal the end of the game, but let's say if you have not been treating them well, you will find out at the end of the game what that means.
Companions are a very, very important part of merchandising, because that's the real beauty of the sequel. We're talking merch, baby. It is the lifeblood. It is what fuels us. Do you want to see some of my ideas? Hop, hop. Check this out. Gen Alpha loves body pillows, especially ones that look like human beings for some reason, right? Who needs a significant other when you could have a knife-wielding space psycho up in your sheets, huh? What do they do with them when they get them, huh? Maybe a little napping, maybe a little snuggling, maybe a little nut.
The visuals of the first Outer Worlds depicted a frontier colony in space. The Outer Worlds 2 is driven by an invasion of the Arcadia colony system by Anti's Choice, which shifts the visuals to be more reminiscent of a World War I-like setting in space. That evolution is seen across all aspects of the game, starting with the factions. How do you militarize everything, including extreme capitalists or math-crazed scientists? In a World War I setting, war comes with propaganda. The Sovereign uses it to maintain control, Anti's Choice uses it to help their bottom line. The Order just wants to show how it exists within the grand plan. We want players to feel like Arcadia is a living, breathing place scarred by a long-standing war. Fairfield, one of the first towns you encounter, was once under Protectorate control, but has recently been taken over by Anti's Choice. They don't just occupy the town, they rebrand it with their signature style, repainting buildings, posting guards, and adding propaganda-based holograms featuring Anti and the Moon Man. Showing the towns evolving after the invasion helps us push immersion for our players. One of our priorities in visually realizing the world of The Outer Worlds 2 was making sure everything is clear and recognizable from the player standpoint. We want to make sure each faction has a particular look and design. So when the player is running across these vast, different environments and landscapes, they're recognizing the motifs and visuals of who they're talking to, what they're going to be talking about, and how that progresses throughout the story. The first Outer Worlds was really about player interfacing with corporations. And while we have that in The Outer Worlds 2, we really want to express not just the corporations, but how the player interacts with other facets of the world, like government entities or religious structures. And then we elaborate on those.
With larger environments, we wanted to encourage exploration by improving player mobility across the board. Now you can run, slide, double jump, mantle, and parkour your way through all of the nooks and crannies of these worlds. It really allows the player to just explore and have fun finding really cool stuff.
We've aimed to make everything in The Outer Worlds 2 better from top to bottom. The RPG elements were the start, but that's touched our story, our art, and especially our gameplay. A good sequel is true to the original. That's first and foremost, right? Like, we all want to add in a bunch of things as you're making a sequel, right? We want to make it bigger and better in every way. That's what we were trying to do here. And I thought, we did not need this consultant. We've made enough sequels. We understand how to do this. And I will say, I don't think it's been entirely successful.
I am very proud of the combat improvements we have made in The Outer Worlds 2, thanks to my patented combat system. You may be thinking to yourself, it can't be that good? Shush, what are you even talking about? You haven't seen it yet. Watch this. Put a helmet on, because I'm about to blow all of your minds with my COMBAT system, combat system. My name is Mark, I'm the head of sequels. Shall we begin? You're thinking, what's C for? C. Capitalize the fact that the people loved the first game. We're gonna take those people, we're gonna make them buy the sequel, giving out pounds, pounds, pounds. Quick ones, ha, ha, not you, Deb. Here we go. What comes after C? O. Optimize for player satisfaction. I am terrified of online gamers, okay? I wanna make them happy, so let's, okay? All right. Mobilize the players so they're ready for that sweet, sweet pre-order. Clap with me. Sweet, sweet. If you don't have rhythm, Brandon, just say it. Sweet, sweet pre-order. Everybody has a different rhythm, and it's blowing mine. And here we go. B, burglarize. What is this? It's basically just finding new ways to loot dead bodies. You know what I mean? Right, Otis? Okay, well, it's a big part of the game. A, you gotta agonize about how many people are gonna be angry that we have just put so much combat into this thing and almost no romance at all. We should look at ourselves. What is wrong with us? Huh? We can't have one love story in this? How many people have been in love? Raise your hands. Raise your hand if you're in love. Okay, are you lying?
I have a wife.
Put your hand down. T, trois. In French, that means two, sequel.
I think that means 3.
Okay, you're getting ahead of yourself. Come on, Claire. We're on 2. And how do we end it? Anything is possible. And we've established that we're the best there is, and there's no sequel better than us. And if I could just say one more thing, thank you very much. I know I've kind of changed the world of video games today.
For The Outer Worlds 2, we wanted to improve gunplay in every way. We focused on improving the feel of each weapon, the way a weapon snaps into ADS, the way recoil feels when firing, and how impactful our sound effects really sell the weapon's fantasy, to things like how unique reload animation can add a lot of character to each weapon. We've increased the variety of weapons by including new weapon types, but also through a host of fun and unique weaponry. We have things like the Bourse Blaster that fires out tumors that can explode like grenades, or can even be eaten by the player for additional health. We have a weapon called Rookie's Reward that will actually level up the more you use it throughout the game. And every time it levels up, it's got fun fanfare where it's like shooting out confetti and it's got a fun little setup. We have a really fun weapon called the pop-up gun. It fires out ad drones that will distract your enemies with corporate ads, slogans, and jingles. While your enemies are distracted, you can focus fire on them or explode these drones for additional damage. New to The Outer Worlds 2 are throwables. So you can use frag grenades to flush out enemies, smoke grenades to camouflage and escape, distraction devices to bait enemies into a stealth attack, and even science grenades that will levitate enemies, allowing you to fire upon them while they float helplessly. And of course, science weapons are back. We have returning favorites, like the shrink ray. This time it's been upgraded so you can shrink your enemy down to the size of a sprat and run over them, exploding them into bits.
The shrink ray, that was probably my favorite one from the first game, so we brought it into the second game, but we improved it though. So instead of shrinking your enemies for a short period of time and having them re-expand, this time they stay shrunk, and we actually added in the ability to step on them and kind of squish them and kick them, because we knew that that was the player fantasy. We knew that's what everybody wanted to do. They wanted to step on the enemies, they wanted to kick them, so we made sure to double down on that stuff.
In addition to things like our returning favorites, we also have some really fun and unique new science weapons. One of them is called the Armageddon. This one's really cool because it actually shoots out these masses that are like these little arms that will stick to people or cover or all kinds of different things, and they will continue to just hit them until they get destroyed. And we have another one that's just super cool called the Spectrum Dance Saber. This is a melee weapon that actually lets you attack to a musical beat. And if you continue to do that, you'll actually get additional bonuses each hit you do. One of my personal favorite weapons is called the Big Bang. It's just a big freaking gun that uses material harvested from rifts to shoot out a giant ball of energy, vaporizing everything in its path. Now, ammo's extremely rare for this weapon, but you can use it in just the right situation to devastating effects.
Like another great one is Gary. If you wear Gary, he will lash out at your opponents as you're walking through combat. So we even have science armors, and we've really kind of shown off what we thought was really great for the player from a science perspective.
We're all about letting people play the game their way. There are some players who prefer to be immersed in a first-person view, taking in all of the details. But there are others who really prefer to take the world in from a third-person perspective. Why not allow both? Well, now you can swap between the two, letting you enjoy the experience in whatever way you like. One of the things I really like about having the third-person mode is being able to see all of the fun and unique armors and armor combinations and weapons that you can equip your player with. All of the actions that you could do in first person, so you're double jumping around, you get to see your character in that way, and you get to take in the world and see things in a different light.
The Outer Worlds 2 is really the biggest game we've ever made. Bigger choices, more reactivity, more weapons, more things to find in each of the worlds the players can visit. The team has done incredible work bringing the Outer Worlds 2 to life, and we can't wait for you to play it.
Even though we've always been a multi-project studio, this is going to be the first time we've ever released 3 games in 1 year. It feels amazing to do. We're so excited for more people to be playing our games. It is truly an exciting time here at Obsidian. We're exploring worlds big and small while expanding on franchises that we've created, and we have no plans to slow down. We hope you all continue to come along with us as we do what we do best, make your worlds your way.
With the Outer Worlds 2, we're all about the best place to play, which is also the promise of Xbox. You can play the Outer Worlds 2 on this Xbox, but it may be hard to play it when you're staring at all these beautiful holes. Let's cut that. You can play the Outer Worlds 2 on this Xbox. Oh yeah, now that's Microsoft. Or you can take a phone call on this Xbox, then play the Outer Worlds 2 right after. Excuse me, I'm getting a call. Hello? What am I doing? I'm playing the Outer Worlds. Hello? Yeah, this is Mark. I didn't know I had jury duty today. You could play the Outer Worlds 2 on this Xbox, but it takes 2 people to lug around safely. We're gonna go up to my apartment, okay? And this is an Xbox you actually wear that also plays The Outer Worlds 2. What do you think, Claire?
This is amazing.
Are you playing?
I think so.
Fantastic. So now this is actually not an Xbox, so you cannot play The Outer Worlds 2 on it. Can't play anything on this. I guess Bread. You ever play Bread where you take it out of one slot, put it in the other? I don't have friends. If you pre-order the premium edition now, you'll get early access, which is like a prequel to the sequel, or has launched the sequel to the pre-order, or like, why are any of us alive at any time? It doesn't matter. Either way, my job here is done. It's time for the Grounded 2 portion of the Direct, which is sort of like the sequel to the Outer Worlds 2 portion of the Direct, which I absolutely just hit a home run with. You know, it's really nice to see my influence go on to other games. Take it away, team. And big exit.
We're so proud of Grounded. What started as a small passion project to make a quirky game where you're shrunk down to the size of an ant, trying to survive in a backyard, grew into something way bigger than we ever imagined. Over 25 million of you jumped in, explored, built, crafted, and fought off giant bugs together. Y'all helped make the entire experience very special to us. The team's been cooking up a ton for Grounded 2, and we're so excited to talk about it. I had to grease some palms to steal a bit of time from the Direct to give you a deeper look. There were so many possibilities and ideas that didn't make it into the first game, so with the sequel, we have the chance to dream bigger. To achieve those dreams, we partnered with the amazing folks at Eidos Montreal. Together, we're taking Grounded from the backyard to an even larger world, the Brook Hollow Community Park.
When we started working on Grounded 2, we knew that we wanted to make a bigger world. Fortunately for us, Eidos Montreal became our main partner on developing Grounded 2. They have a lot of similarities to the sorts of things that are important to us at Obsidian. They tend to make very narratively strong games. They make games with really deep characters and great character progression. They make games with great gameplay.
Everyone at Eidos Montreal is thrilled and honored to be working with Obsidian Entertainment. Our two studios share a lot of DNA. The same things that are important to Obsidian Entertainment are important to us. Choice and consequences, player communities, and doing justice to great IPs and great franchises. The fact that we're the first partners that they're working with to make a sequel to their franchise feels like we're an important part of their history.
The events of Grounded 2 take place 2 years after the first game. The same 4 teenagers are returning.
So there's Max, Hoops, Willow,
and Pete.
They're a couple years older, which means they've gone through a bit more high school, a bit more mature. It's 1992. The world's a little bit different, but we're still in that fun, nostalgic era of the early 1990s. In Grounded 2, we're moving the action out of the backyard and into the Brook Hollow Community Park. Not only is it bigger, it allows us to tell a lot more stories and expand the world of Grounded by exploring what the community of Brook Hollow has been up to and what they've been through.
The park overall is about 3 times the size of the backyard, and our initial starting area is actually the same size as the entire backyard from the first Grounded. The reason we wanted to move into a park wasn't just to create a bigger world, but was to give us the opportunity to explore the community of Brook Hollow and what secrets have they been hiding.
What we love and what we're excited about in terms of the park is the opportunity to create environments and landmarks that are mundane at normal size, but are colossal wonders when you're the size of an ant. Everything from a giant trash can to a community picnic table or a snack bar. All of these areas come to life in a brand new way.
Part of the fun in Grounded 2 is that the park was evacuated really quickly right before our teens were shrunk. And that means that the park has been sort of turned upside down and is in a topsy-turvy state. And that leads to really fun environmental storytelling, but it also leads into the creation of amazing biomes for our characters to explore. One of my favorite examples of this is the ice cream cart. In all of the commotion, the ice cream vendor's cart has been knocked over and its contents have spilled out into the ground. And what this means for our young adventurers is that they'll be able to explore this frozen cave of interesting challenges and colorful Lovecraftian horror.
We have one anthill that's actually somebody decided to bury a bunch of toxic stuff in the park. And so there's all these toxic chemicals under the ground. The environment looks very cool and very spooky with all of these sort of chemical pools. And of course, nothing can live down there except for one type of insect, the cockroach. We are oftentimes reinventing environments, and in future updates, you're gonna see a ton of new stuff. You do a lot of fighting against insects of all shapes and sizes. We didn't just want it to look better, we also knew we wanted to add a new layer of strategy. The changes that we've made aren't limited to tuning animations or adjusting attack or defense numbers or making characters or insects move faster or slower. But we did all that too, but there's also an entire sort of rock, paper, scissors strategy involving light attacks, heavy attacks, and blocking. We've also added dashing as a new way to both get out of danger quickly or jump in for a quick attack. And almost all the insects in the game will have these abilities now too. Sort of like a chess match, but one that's super frenetic, looks super cool, and is ultimately just a ton of fun. We're leaning into clear playstyles for tanky warriors, low defense, high damage rogues, effect-wielding mages, and ranged hunters. In the first Grounded, we have mutations, and there were weapons and armors that favored different playstyles. In Grounded 2, not only will there be passive mutations, but there will also be active mutations. And a lot of those mutations support these archetypes.
My favorite way to play pretty much any game is chasing after those game-breaking builds. And that's why I'm so excited for what we're doing with archetypes in Grounded 2. I'm all in on the rogue. Now, you can even dual-wield daggers. I've been dialing in this glass cannon build that stacks ambush, assassin, and cardiofan mutations with the wolfbane daggers and the wolf spider armor. It lets me open up combat with massive backstab damage that also inflicts venom. Then, I can use the extra stamina to reposition and try to dodge, rinse, and repeat. It's high risk, high reward, and absolute chaos in all the best way. I'm looking forward to seeing what wild combos the community comes up with and what they inevitably break once they get their hands on the archetype system. It's going to be awesome watching it evolve with player feedback and watching us try to keep up with all of your game-breaking builds.
One of the great things about Grounded is the variety of players it attracts, from builders to crafters and everything in between. If you've ever watched me on Casually Grounded livestream, you'd know that I'm neither. I am a murderer of insects. Personally, I prefer the term harvester. I love going out, hitting things, and bringing the materials like insect body parts back to my friends to use. This way, we keep progressing and playing together.
We're also trying to make sure that armor and equipment are easily understood by the player, especially when they're playing co-op with their friends. It was really, really important for us to deliver on all of that for the bigger space and experience, because that was the only way we could truly support the feature the community has been asking for since the very first Grounded release. Mounts. Our mounts, we call them buggies, have an entire suite of moves and have their own special abilities and attacks.
We really wanted the buggies to be an extension of the player in every way possible. And that meant making sure that buggies had unique and valuable abilities across all the core pillars of Grounded. So that doesn't just mean exploration and travel. That has gameplay implications for combat, crafting, and building as well. Just like how we wanted to expand on player playstyles throughout the game, we're going to make sure that every buggy that we add has its own personality.
The Red Ant Soldier can enlist up to 2 Red Ant workers to follow you around and help you out. If you get into combat and you don't want to fight while you're saddled on your buggy, you can jump off and they'll fight right alongside you and provide support. The Orb Weaver buggies are a little less useful when it comes to general utility, like building a base or harvesting, but they're awesome when it comes to combat. Sure, their defenses aren't super strong, but they're heavy hitters. They're also super fast and they have some great special abilities, like a scream that allows them to stun lesser-powered insects, and the ability to shoot webs and entangle other creatures. So the Orb Weavers won't be your base-building buggy. You should use the Red Ant Soldier for that. But they're super fun for exploration and combat. Red Ant Soldiers and Orb Weaver Spiders will be available at Game Preview launch. There will be others in the future, but those are the 2 we're starting with. The connection that our Grounded community has with us is something we want to keep forging with the sequel as we make an even bigger game than the original.
Pretty much from day one, we knew we wanted to return to Game Preview for Grounded 2. Sure, it comes with some trade-offs, like the game's not done and it's out to the world, but there's so much value in building it alongside the community. Buggies change how you traverse and navigate the park. What we're doing with Grounded 2 is we're actually keeping zip lines held back so we can see how players engage with buggies, and then we can tweak zip lines to bring them back over time to really complement that buggy experience and make exploring the park far more fun. That kind of feedback loop helped shape the original Grounded, and we wanted to shape the design for Brook Hollow Park, archetypes, buggies, all of it. We also learned a lot from that first time around. One thing that stood out immediately, players blaze through our content, especially the story. That makes sense. Story, characters, world building, that's kind of Obsidian's thing. It's the flavor we bring to the survival genre. So this time, we're starting with a much bigger baseline.
There's been an explosion at Brook Hollow Park. Chaos descended on a ceremony commemorating the 2-year anniversary of when 4 teenagers were miniaturized against their will.
One of our favorite parts of the first game was watching the community uncover clues and spin up theories. This time around, we're leaning even more into that, and we'll be keeping a close eye on what our players discover and how they interpret it. Because you never know what might inspire us as development moves forward.
We really started to hit our groove at the end of Grounded 1. We found that being open about what we were planning and then following through was key to building trust with the community. As a small team, we had to experiment with update pacing and scope, and what we found resonated the most with all of you were bigger, beefier updates, even if it took us a little longer to land. So that's the plan. Larger, more complete updates spaced out just enough so we can take your feedback seriously and make every drop count. You can expect in our big updates, new buggies, new biomes, new building pieces, all the good stuff. And we're launching with a public roadmap so everyone knows what to be excited about in the future.
All of us at Obsidian Entertainment and IDOS Montreal are super excited about how close we are to letting all of you players get shrunk a second time and explore the all-new park on buggies in Grounded 2. If you're a returning Grounded player, we're really looking forward to you experiencing all the improvements. If this is your first time getting tiny, then all I can tell you is that a world with an entirely new perspective and an entirely new feel awaits you in Brook Hollow Park. It's time to ride together and survive together.
We have been expecting you. This is where it starts. We can change the world as we know it. Can you handle that? Let's do this. I'm in.
I'm here to even the odds. Any objections?
Here's to playing in the mud. And when we need their help, they send us a hero. Here we go. Please, follow me.
Well, hello there. It looks like you're about to do some renovations.
Keep your filthy pickers off me!
You think I care?
This is gonna be awesome.
Mayday! Mayday! Code 1 to mission control, we're falling!
Had enough yet? Form up! It's game time, baby! No one's gonna stop us now, boom, pow!
Felt like they were just kind of explaining some regular RPG mechanics that are in every
and this
single
is a level
RPG.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm getting Fallout New Vegas vibes from it. I'm not mad about it. Love Fallout New Vegas. The flaws system is really fun, and I also like that there is what do they call them? The like perks.
Yeah.
I love that there is a perk for being a serial killer. Like, it's fun. It's
I felt spoken to with the flaws with the knees.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I posted about that online, and it was like, what are you talking about? It's like, they are just explaining basic things, but like, it's not necessarily a critique. What we're saying here is, like, Microsoft has deemed the project worth investing more time and money in. I think, like, if anything, it's a commentary on you could have skipped to just the good stuff. Like, you don't need to try and present you have a double jump as a brand new thing. Just focus, be like concentrated humor. The perks are really goofy and fun. Here's the weird characters. Regardless, it looks fun, looks cool. The humor is good there. Same things that interested me in the original are now interesting me in this. Again, don't know if I'm gonna play 800 hours of it or whatever, but I'm excited to check out what's going on in the game.
I want to get that Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, very, very busy year for Obsidian. Because what was it, a few years ago, they were like, we could do 7 games in 7 years, and then they released a couple, and now this year alone, they are hitting 3. Grounded 2. I, for my sins, was not, I wasn't a Grounded player, but I do love the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibes.
Yeah. I didn't really play Grounded either, but I had some friend who I remember was really, really into it, and I was surprised. It was not somebody who I necessarily thought of as being that type of gamer, as a, get in this weird little world with bugs and cooperate with your friends, but I was completely wrong. So there's definitely a huge audience out there for that game.
Yeah, it did really well. And I believe it's one of the games that appeared on other platforms. I might be misremembering that, but I thought it popped up on
Sea of Thieves, I think.
PC and so there is a large audience for that game. And again, it's Obsidian leaning into what they do best.
Totally.
Creativity with somewhat familiar ideas. Grounded is, contextually very different from what people expect from a co-op, PvE game. And that's what makes their things unique. They take something that you're familiar with and put a different spin on it or a unique perspective on it. And like Emma said, there's a lot of people that really dug the original, and this feels like a step up, a building block kind of evolution moment, which is good.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think we were all pretty surprised to see that Eidos Montreal was the co-developer.
Yeah.
It wasn't until they both the teams started talking about kind of the similarities in their DNA that I was like, oh, I could see how this could work. And so, yeah, proof will be in the pudding when that one comes out into like the early access program game preview in the summer. But we got a lot to get through. There were so many games shown off. So obviously some that we knew about already. But I think before we dive into those, let's talk about that handheld. The Xbox ROG Ally and the Xbox ROG Ally X.
So they're doing the multiples thing again.
They are again.
So 2 different price points.
Drop the S, though.
Yep, drop the S. Look, I said it in the beginning of the show. They need to get into the handheld market to remain viable with their everybody buy Game Pass model.
Yeah, it also seems like a very, very low-risk entry point. Like
Absolutely.
they didn't, as far as we know currently, they haven't adjusted any sort of spec stuff. Maybe we'll learn about that soon or in the future. Oh, we've tweaked XYZ hardware. So they're not getting into the nitty-gritty of having to spend money to work on components and all the kind of ups and downs of hardware that would make a kind of light investment impossible in it. They've taken the Ally and the Ally X, 2 existing things, gave them little handholdies and just improved the software stuff. I think it was, I can't remember who reported it, but like someone online reported that that same kind of system, that operating system that it's running on, the Xbox kind of ification of that is coming to the normal ROG Ally and Ally X as well.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear that.
You won't necessarily...
RIP Armory Crates. I am
Get out,
using
will not be missed. Yeah, so if you don't necessarily need to go and buy, for now, unless they announce some sort of spec differential or you know, you just really want those handy holds, in which case...
I want those impulse triggers.
Impulse triggers, that's the other main thing, yeah. But otherwise, like, I think it's a good way to get into it if it doesn't take off, they cut their losses and like, we did our thing, we'll move on.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point that if you already have a ROG Ally or a ROG Ally X, you don't necessarily need to get this. The main thing that you're going to be getting probably are those triggers. However, there's a lot of people who haven't gotten into the handheld market because, again, they're not PC gamers and they are Xbox gamers. So this will do well, I predict.
Yes, I really hope so. You know, one of my favorite features of the ROG Ally is that I have games on Ubisoft Plus, I have games on Steam, I have games on Xbox, games on Epic, and I can pull them all in together, and that is what they said that you'll be able to do on all your storefronts and stuff on the Xbox ROG Ally too. And again, it's just removing that barrier to entry. I just want to boot my console up, my handheld, my PC, whatever, and just get straight into a game.
Absolutely.
So I'm into it. Form factor, looks beautiful. Love the triggers.
Yeah, Ally is good to hold.
Yeah. Silk Song then.
What a reveal! I spent
reveal on a screen.
Reveal on a screen.
On a video.
This entire Summer Game Fest at large has been about teasing us over the game Silk Song. Which I jokingly, admittedly, have been saying for most of the last 2 years is not a real game. It is obviously a real game, and apparently coming our way this holiday since it's going to be day one Game Pass. I don't know if
on
that's
the flip
for real.
side, they said, you know, oh, it will be playable on the Xbox Ally X, which could mean the Xbox Ally X is never coming out.
True. That's not real either.
No. But hey, it was good to see it. Obviously, we had a little bit of at the Nintendo Direct a few weeks ago. Good to see kind of more Silk Song. I'm excited to see. I don't know. I just feel so bad for all the Hollow Knight fans who have waited for years. They put on their clown makeup before every showcase, and now they've been redeemed. It's coming this year, apparently.
They said that last year.
I know they did. Yeah, remember, was it the Play Days a few years ago where it was like, everything you see here will be out in 12 months? That was about 3 years ago. I mean, there is a lot to get through. I keep saying that.
Just let's
just go Persona
highlights.
4 Revival.
Yep, it's back.
I'm so happy.
I'm thrilled.
I was. I feel so vindicated calling that. Not that I think it was difficult to call per se because of all the weird tweeting and of voice actors and things from the original Persona 4. I'm still so excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer, but I think that what makes it most exciting is how good a job they did on P3. It's like it was a fantastic remake. So having that story again, those characters,
That music.
that music, like it is a again no-brainer. And there's a decent chunk of people on Xbox that probably haven't played it because they've been kind of locked to PlayStation for a while.
Yeah,
and
because
I had P4 Golden on PC.
Yeah,
P4
PC.
Golden came
Yeah.
to, because I posted on Blue Sky during it, I was like, man, I wish I had my Vita, because that's the console that I associate with playing Golden, obviously, on. And so someone was like, isn't it on Play Anywhere? Like, I think it's on xCloud. I was like,
Yeah.
So if you see me just looking at my phone, that's because I'm
playing Persona.
playing Persona 4. But no, I mean, sad thing about it is, though, no
release date,
no,
barely
not
saw
even
anything.
a year.
Yep.
I think that's.
I feel like it's within the next 18 months.
Yeah, I think that's a Sega wanting to own that moment and that beat for themselves, which makes perfect sense.
Totally.
Like, you know, it's a big jewel in their crown and will be important to them. So they probably want to be able to soak in the glory of doing that themselves.
And, you know, I actually played that Persona 5 Phantom X mobile game, and like it's a pretty complete Persona game, to be totally honest.
Didn't need to hear that. 'cause
Sorry.
That's how they get me again.
Yeah, just stay away from there's like a
There's
phone
gacha?
game. Stay away from the gacha.
Yeah.
Stay away from
This is what takes me down. There's a couple of other big hitters that we knew that Blood of Dawnwalker was going to have some kind of showing this summer. Might surprise you, learn it came from a lot of the people who worked on The Witcher 3.
No.
If you look at that
Really?
trailer, you look at that gameplay, you listen to that music, you look at the kind of
The main character.
main character, the Eastern European influences.
the actual logo title of the game.
That title treatment.
The title treatment.
Chronicles Medieval did the exact same thing as well, where it was like the circle, and it came, and I was like, okay, someone's a fan. Someone's got the Witcher 3 After Effects file. What did we think of Blood of Dawnwalker?
Oh, I want to play it. I love a sort of Dompier vampire hunter kind of situation, like a Blade, like a Vampire Hunter D, and it seems like that is where this is living in. I love Witcher 3. I love that Eastern European vibe. I like these kind of dancing the line between creepy and sexy vampires. I'm in. I don't need convincing.
Yeah, same. Same.
I want to talk about one of my game of the show, other than Persona.
Of this show or the entire?
Of this show. I think it has to be There Are No Ghosts at the Grand.
Oh, I'm so interested in that.
I was like very captivated by that because we were sat here watching, and I thought like at the beginning it was kind of like, oh, is this some kind of a power wash sim? You know, like walking around cleaning. Because what's that game you sent me? Is it Hosey?
Yeah, Hosey. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of those kind of games where you're cleaning up, you're making things incrementally better. Maybe you're talking to some NPCs and you're fixing their lives by tidying up one thing at a time, just like Marie Kondo. But then it's like, hey, there's some spooky stuff. There's some conspiracy stuff. Your granddad went missing stuff. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm very into this.
I'm into the kind of gamification of cozy games these days, because cozy games are, if you ask me, oversaturated at this point. But
I'm actually at the point where I don't like the term cozy game.
Yeah, it's just, there's a lot going on there. There's something to unpack there. But I like that they're adding a little more, because this is, again, one of those games that we like to play, where you're cleaning something, organizing something, and now it's like, oh, you can do that, but we've added a little more creative flair to it, and you know, intrigue, and yeah, on paper, it sounds like a winner.
I love a game where the gameplay and the story commingle really nicely, and it feels like it's setting up to do that because, again, you are presented with that basic concept of here's the gameplay, clean this up, tidy this up, spruce it up, but then the story elements make their way into what you're doing.
Yeah. And it gives you that really great feedback loop where it's everything I'm doing has a purpose. It is moving forward. It's not just something that I'm doing for the sake of doing.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of ones that I didn't expect. I mean, I didn't expect a Super Meat Boy 3D.
Nope, didn't expect that.
Didn't expect High on Life 2. I mean, High on Life, I actually, I am not a Rick and Morty person. And I was actually quite worried that High on Life would be leaning a little too Borderlands for me, but I actually did enjoy it. I played through the majority of it because I wanted to get to Tim Robinson. And I kind of didn't expect a sequel so quickly.
I mean, I imagine it's the game, the original, where a lot of ideas were just kind of spitfired out. And as is the case with games, you take a subset of those and put them in the final product. And then that means, like, especially with a team like that, they probably have like a mountain of other ideas, they were like, okay, we don't need to spend a lot of time like figuring the stuff out we've got here, because it looked like the whole thing was like more of the craziness, more types of guns, which means more types of weird personalities and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think people will probably be into that. Like, I think people who like the original will like that.
Yeah.
Fans of the genre will.
Fans of the genre. A veritable smorgasbord. One game that I think that really interested me, because I absolutely love Plague Tale Requiem, was Resonance, which is some kind of Plague Tale related tie-in.
No rats. No, not enough rats.
Well, hey, where did the rats come from?
Yeah.
So, no, I like the look of that one. I want to know more about it, because, yeah, Plague Tale is one of those games where it just perfectly does what it sets out to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested in more in that world. And also I've kind of become hyperfixated on, like, medieval stuff after playing Plague Tale Requiem a couple of years ago. So this one obviously is not in medieval England or France.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, interesting. The whole, like, it seems like it's leaning into the kind of supernatural a bit more.
Yeah, like the culty kind of
the
side.
culty side of it, which is a good direction to go in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. Because again, it feeds into the idea behind any time that there is a massive sort of sickness, plague, whatever that's taking people out, and what do we do to sort of like justify this existence, turning to like very culty kind of religion. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
cults, religion.
Well, I was going to say, if we'd gone, speaking of cults, we could have gone to Indiana Jones DLC.
Yeah.
If we're talking about plagues or something taking out the vast majority of the population, we could have gone to Kronos.
Oh, yeah.
So this is your choose your own adventure moment. Do you want to talk about Indiana Jones DLC or Kronos?
Indiana Jones is probably a quick one.
Yeah.
Right? It exists. Good.
September. Excited.
Order of Giants. Like great.
Love Indiana Jones. Kronos. Fall 2025.
Yeah, I'm glad we got that. I'm glad that is a this year game.
Yeah, me too. Because we got to see it at GDC a couple months ago and chat to the team there. And Bluebird, after Silent Hill 2, I think the medium, there was a lot of things that I did not stick the landing with in the medium. However, I will say I just think that the time mechanic that they used and how it was implemented was really, really interesting. And Kronos, again, playing with time, again, leaning into their horror chops and this feeling of immense dread and sci-fi. It's very my bag.
Yeah, and a little more confident having just knocked the Silent Hill remake out of the park. And obviously, like, it's not like they started making this one after they were done with Silent Hill. They were being developed concurrently, so I'm sure there was like discussions back and forth and shared ideas and shared technology and shared kind of like workflows and that kind of stuff. So I imagine, or I suspect that this game will receive some of the benefits of what happened with Silent Hill 2, and I'm more excited about it. Like you said, we saw it at GDC, and it was really cool what we saw. It was they mentioned being inspired a little bit by Dark, which is one of my favorite shows ever.
Netflix I know Dark.
Like, and I was like, yep, that you sold me on that.
Yeah.
That works, yeah.
There was another game that was humanity is mostly wiped out, but it was the Japanese one.
You read my mind. I was about to take us there. It is the Game Freak game, Beast of Reincarnation, 2026, set 2,000 years in the future. Humanity is becoming extinct.
And their last hope is a girl whose name is Emma, so I'm already in. But no, I really liked what was going on with that game aesthetically. It reminded me of Princess Mononoke.
Oh,
and just Miyazaki in general, because you had sort of that forest spirit. You had the like veiny things bursting out of monsters as if they'd been taken over by some kind of, rage disease. And you also had very Miyazaki-looking robot things. Yep.
Wolf-Friend 2.
Wolf-Friend 2. Yep.
Yeah, I was just surprised to see it come from Game Freak. I mean, we knew that Game Freak was making some.
I think the only thing that had been seen in that project was like
that logo,
like the logo or something.
Pokemon it is not, but there's a lot of creatures in it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna rattle off. So I mean, hey, I was gonna say I'll rattle off, but Clockwork Revolution was one. My constructive feedback was that trailer was far too long.
Way too long.
I think it was. I think the game looks great. British person here. It was very much leaning into my type of humor.
Yeah.
it didn't need to be that long.
Yeah, I explained some things repeatedly, and yeah, it's just a bit too much. It's a game clearly with a lot of character.
Yes.
And instead of coming away with it from it with a kind of very concentrated and good idea of what that is, I've got like a barrage of things, you know, tone and characters and screaming dolls and cockney barbers and robots and that kind of stuff. Yeah, the knob is there. It's just like, all right, you should have focused maybe on a few things and kept it like 1 minute.
Right, and then they kind of added at the end, oh, and by the way, you also get to play with time.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. Tam, you're a big fighting game player. How do you think about Invincible?
Yeah, I mean, I said close enough. Welcome back, Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, I'm excited to see more fighting games exist because, again, I still perpetually live in the world where fighting games were on the way out, and they haven't been in a long time. We're doing well, but it's always good to see more IPs in the fighting game universe, even if it is a licensed one. Invincible makes a lot of sense. I stopped reading Invincible when I learned that Robert Kirkman makes his stories never to end, and I was like, I'm out.
Oh, that's why I stopped reading.
I'm done. Yeah, so, but that universe is just perfect for that kind of Marvel versus Capcom 2v2 fighter kind of scenario. And I didn't recognize the developer of the game. I think it was like Quarter Up or Coin Up or something like that. So I'm not sure about the pedigree of it, but that's not to say that it's not viable in any way. Like, all fighting games don't have to come from NetherRealm, Capcom, SNK, or, you know, whoever it may be, Bandai Namco. But yeah, I'm excited to see what that is and what happens to it when, you know, the community gets their hand on it. It looked nice, visual style. So yeah, I'm excited to check that out. I'm excited to hit buttons.
Yeah, hit buttons, punch dudes. We're kind of coming up to the end of the recap, but I mean, we've got some, you know, we've got Gears of War Reloaded, Fallout 76 Gone Fishing, very good. I enjoyed that. The ESO was a world-changing server event.
What is going on in ESO?
I don't know. I feel like I remember I played ESO as soon as it went live. I played it a bunch, and then I kind of haven't dipped in, and that was about 12 years ago.
Yes.
However, if it's as fun as it made, that trailer made it out to be.
It made it look so fun, and also I want a tiny pet.
Yeah, I want a little cat.
A
tiny cat and a witch cat.
We all have two.
Yeah, I want
we all have two tiny cats.
I want a tiny virtual cat.
Yeah.
The game I wanted to shout out was the new one from I forgot the name, so please tell me what it is again. The game from the Spirit Pirate team.
Oh, it is At Fate's End.
At Fate's End. That is the game of this show for me. I was like, oh, I love Spirit Pirate.
Yeah, Spirit Pirate.
I love the way it looks. I love the way it felt and moved. And this is like a very active combat system that is card-based. And it looked really, really intriguing. And some of the kind of scale stuff that they were doing was really cool, and musically as well. And you're fighting your sister, it looks like. And
the way the sword came out.
I love a pulling a sword out of a chest. Favorite anime is Revolutionary Girl Utena, so if you know, you know.
So I think that is one I'm definitely keeping my eye out for. So shout out to that team. Good job.
Absolutely. And I mean, we also had, it was funny, we were talking about mascots and everything, and then for some reason they're all in Tony Hawk.
They're there,
They're in
Doomslayer's in there.
Yeah, everyone's here. It's like Smash.
Yeah.
Keeper. Double Fine.
Yeah.
Show closer.
Cool.
Very, very cute game.
Yeah, again, felt like a little bit of a Howl's Moving Castle situation where you're moving this structure through a world.
Lighthouse thing.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a Double Fine game, and I mean that in nothing but a positive way.
Yeah. And it looks like a Double Fine game. It has a creativity, but it also looks like this is a game Double Fine is making with the backing of a Microsoft.
Totally.
It's not like, hey, we're really mercenarying this thing together using our creativity. This is like, oh yeah, there's money behind this. You can see it's very, very polished looking and creative. And
I mean,
yeah,
it's just like Obsidian said about Outer Worlds 2.
Exactly.
We had more time and money.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited to see that.
All right, I think we've hit the vast majority. There's some other games that we didn't really touch on, like the Sea of Thieves update, Final Fantasy come in. We got Planet of Lana 2, Mudang 2 Hearts, Age of Mythology, and Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive.
Yep.
And Aphelion, which was the Dontnod game.
Yeah, Dontnod game. That's cool.
The space game. So I think to kind of wrap this up, because we've got appointments to get to, we've got people coming into the studio, we've got games to see. What were your highlights of the showcase? And if you had to rate it,
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
No, it's
we
not
didn't
my
even
highlight.
Call of Duty.
Not my highlight. I'm just saying it ended on Call of
It
Duty.
did. It ended on Call of Duty. What am I talking? I didn't write Call of Duty down because I was like,
Just say, obviously we're going to talk about Call of Duty. Yeah. Another Black Ops very soon. It's I tweeted it, but Microsoft is finally releasing a Milo game. Good job.
Project Milo.
Project Milo is out there. I will say, I'm not surprised there's a Call of Duty game. That game looked extremely interesting to me up until a Call of Duty logo appeared. And that's not to say I'm not excited about Call of Duty. I was like, oh, new IP, Milo, this like they do like psychological stuff, the butterfly thing. This is very creative, like smashing into a different universe upside down. And I was like, okay, what is the gameplay going to be? And then it went Call of Duty, and I was like, I know exactly what this game's going to play like and what it is. And it's like, and I'm sure they'll have some unique ideas, but it's just like.
They're so well established though that I think that again, it's like they don't want to alienate the core fan base.
It's one of those wind out of my sail moments, but the boat is still moving. I'm on the boat. I'm excited where we're going, or I'm
We're listening to Nine Inch Nails as we go.
Yeah. But we should have known when it was Nine Inch Nails appeared and Milo and like a face. It's like, oh, this is what Call of Duty does now. But
yeah. So that's not your highlight?
That's not my highlight. My highlight was the Spiritfarer team's new game.
Yeah, I have to agree because again, it would be Persona 4 what was it?
Revival?
Revival. I wanted to say Revival, but I didn't trust myself. Persona 4 Revival, but we just, it was a
kind of knew that,
yeah. And also Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden,
Oh, Ninja Gaiden, yes.
What was yours?
Mine was absolutely Persona. 4 was the first one I played. It was the game that I fell in love with. And I'm just super thrilled to see it get the P3.
I'm so glad that we're going to get to see the glasses and things.
Oh, and the mouth.
Yeah.
God. Wow. That'll about do it for our pre and post show on the Xbox Showcase, but make sure to stay tuned to GameSwap because we've been playing and previewing games. There'll be a lot more to watch and read throughout the week, so keep your eyes peeled. And also, we've had some amazing guests come through the studio to chat to. Right now, well, you're not going to see this, but, it's fun. We'll have the Expedition 33 cast coming through, so keep your eyes out for that. And so from me, Tam, and Emma, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.